The mainstream media told us that Donald Trump was racist and sexist, and that young people and minorities and women just loved Hillary Clinton. Well, let me show you what the reality was. And I'm going to use an impeccable liberal source, namely the New York Times. Here's their official exit poll data from the National Election Pool. So they interviewed people who just left the voting booth, and they also had phone calls with early and absentee voters. They interviewed more than 24,000 voters at 350 locations across the U.S. It's not perfect, but it's the best information we have. Obviously, the blue lines represent the votes that Hillary Clinton got, and the red is Donald Trump. And you can see the little triangle on the right, which shows the direction of the shift from 2012. When Barack Obama ran against Mitt Romney. So let's start with sex. As you can see, Hillary Clinton won the women's vote 54% to 42%. A 12-point gap. Now that sounds impressive, but Democrats always do better with women. But look at that. Hillary Clinton only did 1% better than Barack Obama did with women. So he got 53%. The entire Hillary Clinton campaign rationale, I'm a woman, let's make history for women, hey fellow women, if you don't vote for me, you're a traitor to women, it only resulted in a 1% gain with women. About half her campaign messaging was just for women, and it got her an extra 1%. But look at the other line there. Clinton lost the male vote 53% to 41%. Also a 12-point gap, but look at that. She did 5% worse with men than Barack Obama did. Maybe there's a connection between Clinton making her sex such an issue and losing the male vote. By the way, Margaret Thatcher of the UK overwhelmingly won the male vote when she was the prime minister there, probably because she was talking about running the whole country, not just about how cool it is that she happened to be a woman. But look here at the breakdown by race. Fascinating. Yes, Trump won 58% of the white vote to Hillary Clinton's 37%. That's a 21% gap. That sounds huge, but again, pretty normal these days for the Republicans. But look here, it's only 1% higher than what Mitt Romney got. In other words, the white vote was not enough for Donald Trump to win. Let me say that again, because it is so contrary to the last 12 months of propaganda that you have heard from the mainstream media, including from the New York Times. Donald Trump's support amongst white Americans only went up by 1%. And if that were the only boost he got in the election, he would have lost the election. Donald Trump won because he had big gains with minorities, starting with black voters, up from 1% to 8%. Now, of course, Democrats still dominate black voters, but moving from 1% to 8% is a huge breakthrough. And maybe enough to help flip Democrat states like Florida or Ohio or Michigan or Pennsylvania, which Trump won by a thin margin. Look at that next line, incredible. Hispanic Latino. Trump was up by 8% over what Romney got last time. Again, Democrats still very strong, more than 2-1. I get it, yes. But for a year, the media told us that Trump was a vicious anti-Latino bigot. Really? 29% of Latinos don't think so. Maybe Hispanics who legally immigrated to the United States and legally applied to become American citizens the proper way, maybe they don't like illegals sneaking over, jumping the line, including, as Trump accurately said, many criminals from Mexico. Maybe Latino Americans appreciate a strong leader who speaks firmly but honestly about difficult issues, instead of identity politics pandering, which is the Clinton specialty. That's the hidden news of the night. Donald Trump skyrocketed the Hispanic vote, and look at that next line there, Asians. Now, it doesn't break it out, Chinese or Indian or Pakistani or other countries, but still, up 11%. Now, Asians are not a huge voting bloc in the U.S., but if you're talking about big multiracial cities in the States, and you add up all these swings, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, they're what put Donald Trump over the top, not white guys. The media has been lying to you the whole time. Minorities for Trump is the most underreported news of the election because it contradicts the official media narrative that liberals are tolerant and Trump is racist. I just showed you the truth using their own numbers. But I want to show you two more things. Look at voting by age. Look at the youngest voters, 18 to 29-year-olds, the millennials. Sure, they voted more for Clinton than for Trump, yes. But Trump's numbers are 5% higher than what Romney got. Trump was more inspiring to young people than Clinton, that old political warhorse croaking, "It's my turn."
Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Yeah, somehow that didn't turn on millennials, and shockingly, neither did goofy stunts like this.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, no, young people came over to Trump, up 5% over what Romney did. Last point, just as important as the minority vote point, probably related. Look at votes by income. Look at the poorest Americans of all, people earning less than $30,000 a year. That's poor. That's unemployed people, that's barely employed people, that's people with part-time jobs, that's people having a really tough go of things. And of all the numbers I've shown you so far, it's the one with the biggest shift. Sure, the Democrats still won the poorest of the poor, 53% to 41%. But Donald Trump's vote with these poor people surged by 16% higher than what Romney got. That's the most movement of any demographic I've shown you so far. Mitt Romney only got 25% of these people. Donald Trump got 41%, almost half. These are the people that the Democrats think they own. But they're desperate for hope. And after 8 years under Mr. Hope and Change, they know they're worse off. And they want to change their luck. The next lowest income group, people earning between $30,000 and $50,000 a year, they also swung to Trump by 6%. But that lowest income group had the biggest swing of all. Poor people and minorities gave this election to Donald Trump, not rich white people. In fact, white college-age grads abandoned Trump. 10% swing to Hillary Clinton. Look at that. All the rich, fancy, liberal, virtue-signaling people, they voted Hillary to show how wonderful they are. But actual poor people, actual blacks and Hispanics, actual young people worried about the future, they gave this election to Donald Trump. Hey, do me a favor. Share this video with your friends. They're probably watching CNN right now and hearing that Trump won because he's a racist. You got to tell them to stop listening to the mainstream media who've been lying to them the whole time. You got to share this video with them so they can get the facts.